Hello dear World of Warcraft friends, welcome back to a new video on my channel. Patch 12.1 is just around the corner, and that also means a new season starting to farm again, currencies being reset or partially replaced. In this video, we'll simply go through all the important currencies for PvE. As I said, PvE since I'm not that familiar with PvP, and we'll take a look at what's going on with delves and dungeons and so on. Maybe you should spend them now. What are some ways you can still convert things into somewhat useful items? And yes, all of that in this video. If you like it, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like. If you subscribe, let's break 38,000 with the new patch. That would be super awesome. And with that, let's get started. Since there will probably be questions about the PvP stuff as well, so Conquest will definitely be reset. That's how it is every season. However, I'm not 100% sure how it is with Honor, and there is no statement about this regarding the new patch. So, I mean, last time it wasn't reset with the season, but take all of this with a grain of salt. Otherwise, currencies like these things here, which are tied to scenarios, so Stomarian cores, latent arcana, mysterious sky shards, which are sometimes also needed for quests and so on. Nothing will change about that. You still have the dark particles here. Even these ascending void shards remain. However, they won't do anything for you anymore. It also says Season 1 of Midnight. So these items will either turn grey and you'll have to sell them, or you can still upgrade old trinkets with them. But usually they'll just turn grey and become useless. So, just like me when I get old. Otherwise, let's go through everything. Your fishing pearls will remain. Field commendations will stay the same, however, they won't be quite as valuable in the new patch since you can now buy hero gear with them. In the new season, this gear will be outdated. Illusionary coins will also stay in the game, however, they're part of this prop hunt mode, and that mode is being removed from the game. That means you can't earn any new coins, but you can still spend them. Empty light slag, those will also remain. But here as well, there will be plenty of new items again. If there's something you really want, it's better to save them up now. Shards of Dundon will remain. Just like the Vitality. That brings us to the first interesting currency, and that's the Remnants of Agony. That's the currency we get from the bounty hunt. Since this currency is new, there is no experience with it yet, and there is also no current statement from Blizzard about it. But you can assume that the currency is 99% likely to be reset. The reason for this is at least that there are also some seasonal rewards here, like mounts and other things. And Blizzard doesn't want you to farm everything together now and then just buy the items directly. At least that's how it was with Lauren coins in the past. That's why personally I believe they will be reset. On the other hand, there are still so many items, like all these decoration items, where it's not clear. Will they be removed? Will they stay? Blizzard hasn't commented on that yet. So if you're lucky, the currency will stay. I would still recommend, if you can, go ahead and buy the items you want now. Otherwise, you might not be able to get them in the end. The Überschwulenes Arcana, as I said, will stay. The Untainted Void Sample, that's for this console in the Void Storm, will also remain. And then come the seasonal currencies. And that would be a reason why I would say that Pine Remnants might actually remain after all. Because they're not listed here under Season 1, but in the end, pretty much everything you see here will be reset in some way. Crate key shards will be reset to 0, just so you can't already have 600 here and get 6 shards right at the start of the season. Morning Light Mana Flux is an interesting topic. Those are the things used to convert items into T-sets. Usually you don't need to hurry here, since Blizzard has set it up this way ever since the Catalyst was introduced. There will be new fluxes for the new season, so you don't, already have 6 of them saved up and then get the new T-set all in one day. But if you then take season items from Season 1, the cost is usually waived. So that means if you want to get the old T-set, you only need items for it, but none of those fluxes anymore. You can basically convert as much as you want then. But for Season 2, you still have to farm them. Nebulous Void Cores. It's kind of like here with the Ascending Void Shards. They basically become useless because you can't use them for Season 2. We know there will be new cores and new bonus rolls. Either they stay and you can still roll in Season 1 dungeons and raids to get missing transmogs, or Blizzard removes them. Here, I would probably say they'll stay in. At least that's how it was in, for example, Warlords of Draenor. We also had bonus rolls there. They remained available afterwards, and you could still roll for them. Since there will be a new item again, I do think they'll remain. Restored coffer keys are being removed because you'll have to farm them again. The same goes for the unsullied mana crystals. Those will also be reset because otherwise you could just get gear from the Delves vendor as soon as he's unlocked. That's not supposed to happen. So if you still have any of those, well, you can't buy cosmetics with them, but if you want to make things a bit easier for your ult at the start, use those items before they're gone. Or you can just use them to get items and sell them for gold. That's still better than losing them completely. All the current crests will also be reset. There will be new crests with different names. And gear from the current season won't have this mythic 6 out of 6 anymore. They'll just stay at the item level they're at. And upgrading won't be possible anymore, so all your crests will become useless. At least that's how it was in The War Within. And here, if you still want to do any upgrades, even for transmog or something, do them now before these crests get reset. And the Radiant Spark Dust, that's the current sparks you can use for crafting. In the past, those remained so you could continue crafting Season 1 items. But here as well, they don't really do much for you anymore since you can't use them to craft Season 2 items. Another interesting case is the Lauren coins. They were also always reset in The War Within. Since we also have things like greed or other items you could buy from these vendors or additional keys. And here, you simply shouldn't have the option to completely fill these things up and then immediately be able to buy stuff. That's why I would recommend at this point, if you want any of these decorations, buy them now. Nalidea, Riverglow, and also the guy back here will get new items. They will get new items. So that means the assortment will change at this point. And yeah, simple recommendation, just buy all the decoration items. Previously, you had the option to say, like in The War Within, you could buy something that could contain all those resources that drop in Delves. And then you could sell them for a bit of gold. That's not possible anymore at this point. But as we can see here, for example, I haven't bought this mount yet. We'll grab it right now. I honestly don't really care about the pet at this point. And then you can also buy a few transmog items. And if you reach the point where you say, hey, I've got everything there is to get here, then if I were you, I would buy this little bag with empty light Mergel. There are only 250 in it, but the Mergel don't reset. You'll also need them in Season 2 to buy items from the new RUH faction. That's why you'll at least get a little something out of it if you get the stuff now. Better than having all your coins reset. Yeah, that's all for now. Take advantage of it, otherwise you'll regret it later. I'm glad I had the idea for this video because otherwise I probably wouldn't have remembered that I still have 18,000 tokens unspent. And otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bought this Arcane Guardian either because I thought I already had everything there was to get. So take another look at the whole thing. Spend the currency before it's too late. And with that, thanks for watching. See you in the next video and take care.